Most Christians don't know what the definition of sin is. If you ask a Christian today, what is sin? They will tell you, sin is when you miss the mark or when you fall short of the mark or something along the lines of that. Sure, that sounds good, but what does the Bible say sin is? To find the definition of sin, all you have to do is go to the New Testament, book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Here you'll see that sin is the transgression of the law. So it's not missing the mark, it's not falling short. Sin is literally when you break the law. However, by making it seem like one is falling short or just not living to be a good person, it totally negates the fact that there is a law and we are supposed to keep that law. As Jesus says in Matthew 5:17 through 19, for verily I tell you that I did not come to destroy the law, I came to fulfill it. Until heaven and earth pass away, not one jot nor one tittle shall in no wise pass from this law. So this law is married to this earth. And we are supposed to keep this law. This is our Father's law, the Most High Yah's law that he gave his people. He gave us an instruction manual on how we are supposed to take care of this vessel on this plane that he's given us. But then Christians will tell you that the law was hung upon the cross, and in the same breath say that they're striving to be Christ-like. Well, that's an oxymoron. You can't strive to be like somebody who was sinless and literally obeyed every single law that the Father gave, and also be lawless, saying that the law is hung upon the cross and we no longer have to keep this law anymore. That doesn't make sense. If you want to know how to live righteously, because there's a difference between being a good person, there's a lot of good people out here, but then there's righteous people. When they say that they're perfect in their generations, like Noah was, like Enoch was, like Abraham was a righteous man. You know, David is a man after God's own heart. And when you read the longest book in the Bible, Psalms 119, the entire chapter is talking about how David is like, man, God, I am a man after your heart. I want to keep your judgments. I want to keep your ordinances. I want to keep your laws, statutes, and commandments that you have given me. Like, your way is the right way. He's saying that throughout the entire chapter. So, again, I digress. Sin is the transgression of the law, but if you don't know what sin is, if you don't know that sin is when you break the Torah, when you break one of the laws that God has given you, then you don't know how to actually be righteous. And that's why it says in Matthew 7:21 through 23, like, there's going to be many that come in my name saying, you know, Master, Master, have we not, you know, casted out devils and done many things in your name? And he's going to say, depart from me, you who are lawless, you who work iniquity. And unfortunately, that's many Christians out here. 99% of Christians don't keep the law. 99% of Christians are being told that you don't have to keep the law. And that's why Matthew 5, verse 19 says that whoever teaches those not to keep the law will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. So a lot of these pastors, your Christian pastors, will be called least in the kingdom of heaven, because all throughout the Old Testament, you see that they fought for the law. You see when they backslid and they went away from God's laws, he sent them into captivity. And when they turned their hearts and came back to his laws, statutes, and commandments, he brought them out of captivity and made them a nation again. And even now in this time, like Deuteronomy 30 says, he is going to gather us from where he scattered us all across the world. He scattered us after 66-70 AD with the Jewish revolt. We had to leave the land, that promised land, because it says in Matthew 27, verse 23 through 25, like, you know, they said, hey, his blood be on us. The people that wanted to crucify Jesus, Pontius Pilate was like, hey, this man has done no wrong. I'm washing my hands of his blood. And they said, let his blood be on us and on our children. And when you look around today, there's clearly people that, you know, fit that. And I don't want to go too deep on that in this video. We're talking about sin, you know, but let's stick to the topic of the video. Sin is the transgression of the law. Praise Yah. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Hallelujah.